We're ready. Good afternoon, football fans from Bulldog Stadium on the campus of the University of Montana Western. It's Montana Western Bulldog football, frontier style. I'm Wally Felt. In the booth, Tanner Harrell. Tanner, a Bulldog alum and filling in for Mike Miller, who's doing some Kiwanis business. And, of course, our producer is Brett Wiebe. We're the crew, and we're going to bring you exciting conference football action. And Tanner, welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here, Wally. I couldn't be happier getting the opportunity to do this with you, and I'm thankful you gave me that call to come and get the chance to do this. There's nothing better than Bulldog football on a Saturday in the fall.
Well, and what a beautiful day it is. It feels like it's about 85 where we are in the press box.
It does.
But it's only about 65, 66, so in reality, it is absolutely perfect.
It's been a beautiful year for the Bulldogs so far. I mean, they've got a lot of great weather games. I can't remember a year in the last 6 years where we've got, 5-6 games down the line without one that's been, below 40 degrees. So it's a beautiful day for football, and I'm excited to be here with you.
Well, I'm guessing, though, I hate to be a person of bad omens, but I'm guessing that the final regular season game, the Carroll game, is probably going to be one of those typical games that you just described.
Yep, absolutely. I would say it'll be in the 30s for sure. Absolutely. It feels like one of those years where the winter might be a little colder than some, especially with how blessed we've been with the beautiful weather and just another great day here in Dillon.
Well, and then as a Bulldog football alum, you have to be pretty excited about looking over this field. You guys have talked about it and everything else. You knew it was coming, but you didn't get a chance to play on it. But the excitement still there.
It's great. Last year we were given the opportunity to help break ground, a few of us seniors, and it was actually right about where the 50-yard line was, right in the middle of our old practice field. To be able to be given that opportunity to help break ground with Michael and a few of the donors and Roxanne England, who's done a great job doing everything on campus with the Alumni Foundation, it given me goosebumps just getting the opportunity to be up here, honestly. It's unreal for these kids to be able to have the opportunity to play here, and for the campus, it's just such an important piece of our history. I was talking to Bernie Bissell, who's a Bulldog class of 59, I believe, and that conversation with him, there's tears in his eyes when he's talking about how much this stadium means to him, 70 years later almost, being able to still come and watch Bulldog football. I can see him down here. He's here for every Bulldog game. We always have been willing to help him and his son out, who was a Bulldog quarterback, Mark Bissell, in the winters. And just getting to talk to the older Bulldogs is just an absolute honor when it comes to talking about the new stadium.
Well, it's kind of cool with the new stadium on historic perspective. This is 100 years ago when Bulldog football actually started. It was 100 years ago. The fall of 1924 was the official varsity start for football on the Bulldog campus. Only they weren't the Bulldogs then. They had numerous names. They were the teachers, the profs. It wasn't until a few years later, or a couple years later, that Sheldon Davis, the professor or the president at the time, he mandated that we get a mascot. We can't have these different things. We have to get a mascot. And they had all kinds of names. The name Beaver actually came to fruition for a while, but our neighbors down north of us said no. No, you can't be the Beavers, and so they did a campus election, and Bulldogs won.
And Bulldogs is something that history is certainly rooted in. There's so many Bulldogs that you get to see every week when we come to these games. This is the fourth home game this year, and I've got to see pretty much someone new every time that kind of brings a little tear to your eye when it comes to talking about how much of an honor it is for everyone to get to come here and watch the future Bulldogs play. And this has been a long time coming, and it's turned out absolutely beautiful. Well, I'd like to give a shout-out to old Tanner Legge, kind of the project manager up here, and he's done a great job, him and his crew, and it looks beautiful.
Well, we're about ready to have the kickoff. I missed the coin flip, but if we stick to how it usually is, the Bulldogs won the toss but are deferring to the second half.
It's a great idea to always defer like that and try and get the ball at halftime. The great Bill Belichick always said it's better to double up than not have that ball coming out of half, and I couldn't agree more. From a player's perspective, it's always nice to get the offense out there on the field in any game, especially in the second half, and be able to get it going. As a defensive guy, I love getting out there on defense, but it's great for the offense to be able to come out and get a rhythm going right away after a 20 or so minute break.
Well, there's a small Dillon connection to the Arizona Christian Firestorm roster. Number 45 on the Firestorm roster is Cale Conan.
Hometown kid.
Yeah, and well, he's got Bulldog roots deep in him. His mom and his dad were both Bulldogs. His grandpa John was a Bulldog. He's going to go up against one of his cousins
in Jace Fitzgerald
Yes,
today, and that'll
yeah.
be a really cool matchup to watch and see. Cale was getting a lot of carries and warm-ups, and it'll be interesting to see how they use him throughout the day, as he's got about 107 yards on the season, so he is listed as the starter. It'll be fun to see how many carries he gets.
Well, we got the Fitzgerald Conan sitting right below us. Below us. So we'll kind of have to see how the cheering goes. I'm guessing they're going to cheer for both sides.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to when it comes to family. And that was a great kick by the Bulldog kicker right there. That's his 6th touchback of the season. It's always great to start with a touchback and get the ball out at the 25.
Well, here comes the Bulldog defense. And, Tanner, this is, you were one of those stalwarts on the line. You were one of the few graduates from that front, so you're probably watching this with extra care. And there's a big opening
play
right away.
That is the tough part with the triple option, Wally. Those counters and all the motions that they've been giving can really create problems interior if you get too much depth.
Well, I think that was at number 27.
21, I believe.
Okay, so once again, we can't always hold true to the depth chart
That
that's
is
handed.
Andrew Trapp, a freshman out of Scottsdale, Arizona.
Well, and there's a pass on the far side, and getting up off the bottom of the pile, it looks like
Chase Tompkins.
And he picks up nice play. You always want to get 5 yards minimum
if you can
on first down.
If you're giving up 5 yards on first down, it creates a real problem for the defense. It really opens up the playbook no matter what position you're in. And here's another one of those counters, Wally. Those counters are going to be tough to stop, and you have to be really disciplined when you're talking about triple option football. Their O-line only averages about 240 pounds, and that's pretty small for Frontier Conference football. The Bulldogs average about 300 up front, so it's a big difference, but when they're trying to get everybody in space, it certainly can create some problems.
Okay, third, and we'll call it a long 2 for the Firestorm. Bo Devins at quarterback and handing off, and there's that number 21 again, Andrew Trapp. He's listed as a wide receiver on the depth chart, but he started as a running back, and he doesn't pick up the first down now this early in the game. Football strategy now. Do you go for it?
I think they will go for
it?
I think a lot of times teams in the Frontier are going to go for this on that first drive, especially if you don't have a solid kicker that you can feel confident in. I know last year when we went down there and played in Arizona, they went for it on 4th down, I think 7 or 8 times, so I know they won't be afraid to do that today.
Okay, so 4th and that long 2 again. Firestone, they've got
T formation here.
Old-fashioned T formation, handoff right up the middle, and they didn't get it. That was Trapp
That's a
again.
Huge stop for the Bulldogs right there to start the game out.
That was Trapp again. Nice defensive stop by J.K. Sheely for the Bulldogs, and it's 1st and 10 Bulldogs as a turnover on downs, and you put that in the turnover column just like you would a fumble or an interception.
It's a sudden change situation. J.K. Sheely's done a great job all year. It's been a pleasure getting to watch him. He's been a huge addition for the Bulldogs, playing in that wolf position, kind of outside linebacker, nickel corner type deal. So I think he's doing a great job. And right there, that's huge to give up a big 30-yard run like that on the first play of the game and then get a huge stop for the offense to start it out.
So 1st and 10 Bulldogs now, and Michael Palandri in at quarterback. Once again, this is one of those extreme assets of the Bulldogs. All 11 starters coming back from last year. Handoff to Humphreys, and he picks up 3 or 4 yards, and someone loses a helmet, which means he's got to spend some time on the sidelines. That is Trey Scott, 5'11", 195-pound sophomore from Parker, Colorado. He gets a free timeout, although I'm guessing he would rather be on the field. That was a pickup of, we'll call it 3.
Good 3 long 3, a little bit of 4. About 2nd and 6 here.
So Palandri in shotgun. Kirkley in motion. Palandri back to pass. Now is he going to run it or keep it? Nope, he tosses it out to
Dylan Shipley.
And Shipley has made a name for himself. He was hurt a lot last year, wasn't he?
Yep, he was. He missed a few games early last year. He's a heck of a kid out of Maple Valley, Washington. He's an awesome teammate, and I'm super proud of what he's been able to do and continue to do. That was a great comeback route right there on the rollout by Mike.
Well, Shipley, we wouldn't have Michael Palandri if Shipley hadn't come here first.
Oh, yeah, they're all together. Braden Swank, Dylan Shipley, and Michael all went to high school together. It's a really awesome connection those three have.
And Humphrey, once again, weaving his way through the Firestorm defense. Nice little carry. He's brought down after about, 4 yards. And so that will present a third and okay situation. You'd rather have a third and short, or is it second?
It's second, I believe. They picked up that first
okay.
down. Did you know
Yep.
Humphrey's averaging 10 yards a carry this year, 62 carries for over 620 yards. That's a huge stat when it comes to that volume of carries to be able to average 10 yards a carry.
Well, and his dad, and he just breaks through for big yardage. He is the defending Frontier Conference Offensive Player of the Week and the NAIA
National
Offensive Player of the Week.
That's a huge honor to get as a young sophomore, and he's doing a great job. His dad's a Bulldog Hall of Famer, just inducted this year. I couldn't be happier for him and everything he's been able to do. Getting to watch these kids, grow up from the time they show up on campus as a freshman, it's an honor to be able to watch him.
Well, Humphrey's dad, you mentioned his linebacker, Jim Bob, went in as a linebacker, and as I watch his son play running back, his son plays running back like Jim Bob played linebacker.
He's a hard-nosed runner, but he's got the shift to him too.
So Palandri back to pass now.
He's got Shipley.
Oh, and there's a touchdown.
And that's a touchdown,
Shipley.
Bulldogs. That was a beautiful throw by Michael on a little shallow post route to Shipley. They have a great connection. I believe that's Shipley's 6th touchdown this year, second on the team in receptions.
Well, he's in the Bulldog Stadium record book, the first touchdown pass.
Yep,
he caught the first touchdown
ever.
pass. So Bulldogs on the board first. John Mears, another, we can say future Hall of Famer, because Mears is going to go in as a Hall of Famer with his kicking ability. And he will attempt the extra point. Kick is up. Kick is good.
And he remains perfect on the year. We don't want to give him
No,
the
not
old
till
jinx.
it's, yep.
We don't want to give him the old jinx, but we'll go one at a time for him. It was fun to have a good conversation with him this week about what an honor it is to be able to be a Bulldog. And there's nobody that bleeds Bulldog more than John Mears. And being the kicker, it could be a tough job. Sometimes it's all on you. And he's always done a great job adapting to the pressure, and he cares just as much as any other player on the field.
Okay, well, with 10:07 left to play in the first quarter, our score, Montana Western 7, Arizona Christian 0. Back with more on the We're back at Bulldog Stadium. First score on the board by the Bulldogs, and we were figuring we didn't really keep track the way we should have. But we're going to say it was an 8-play drive, and it came after the Bulldogs held Arizona Christian on a 4th and short. Bulldogs convert that turnover on downs into a touchdown, and Shipley, the guy in the history book, scoring the first touchdown of the day, just like he scored the first touchdown for Bulldog Stadium.
It was a great route by him and a great throw by Mike. It's been a great connection all year. I think that the offense has really needed a good first drive to get it under their belt, and I think it's going to be a good day for the Bulldogs. Arizona Christian's never going to give up, though, I can tell you that.
Well, last year was a close one in which I could say you maybe don't remember some of that game from last year.
I did get a concussion in that game last year, Wally. I don't remember much about it. And that's another great kick. That is another absolutely great kick by – that is another great kick.
Is that Eddie DeWert?
No, I believe his name is My apologies, I can't find it here real quick. He is doing a great job, though. 2 touchbacks is huge to start out the game.
Well, special teams play such an important part in every football game, and a kickoff is special teams. And if you make them start that way, if you're, behind their own 40, then that's a good way to start.
It's a great way to start.
So Arizona Christian, handoff, and we'll see who, they didn't get much, a couple of yards maybe, and we'll see who gets up off the bottom of the pile.
Cale Conan on the carry. Keegan Mufich on the tackle.
Mufich, another one of that Butte connection.
Yep, he is a true junior linebacker. He got to play as a freshman in 2020-22, a walk-on as a true freshman. He walked on the football team, and he's a great kid. It's awesome to see him having as much success as he's got this year. He's the team's leading tackler.
Conan picks up a couple on the play. Back to pass is Christian, and picks up the first down out there. That is, now these numbers are a little hard to see on the far side over there. I believe that was Trey Brown. He leads the Firestorm in receiving, and the Firestorm picks up a first down. And it's like you said, Tanner, with the way that they set up their offense, it's probably going to take a couple of series.
It's going to take some time to get used to all the new different formations. This is something in small college football you don't see very much, is this triple option look. Guys in motion here, fullback dive. Very tough to stop sometimes right at the point of attack. If you get too much upfield as a nose guard, it can certainly create some problems on the dive.
So nice pickup. They picked up about 4 yards on that first down carry. And I believe that was Conan again on the carry. He's set up right behind the quarterback. And handoff this time going to another one who's not on the depth chart. We'll get the Arizona roster.
Jonah Leon, another wide receiver, kind of getting the ball. That's a lot of those wide receivers are playing kind of that up back position that are going in motion and getting these counters.
Okay, so 3rd and 7 for the Firestorm. Oh, and a completion for a first down, and that once again was to Trey Brown. Good tackle on the far side by the Bulldog DB.
A lot of what they're doing with these third down hitches, it seems like in warm-ups, that's all they were throwing really was hitches. I wouldn't be surprised to see a few trick plays off the motions, possibly a wheel later in the game. But these hitches that they're running, just kind of those little 5-yard routes, pick it up, get it out quick, live with whatever you get. 1st
and 10, Firestorm from their own 48. Handoff.
Big sack. Kenai Leua on the sack for the Bulldogs. 2nd on the team in sacks this year. 4th-year junior out of Kahuku, Hawaii.
Well, you're good at that, Polynesian. That was Johnny Herrera on the carry, although he didn't carry it very far.
I'm not sure if that was a pass or run. Sometimes it's hard to tell in that triple option what's going on back there.
So good defensive play by the Bulldogs, and faced with a 2nd and long. And another, the nice completion. Gets back the yardage lost on the sack and maybe an extra one to throw into the mix. And that was to Trey Brown again. So Firestorm now faced with, what'd you call that?
3rd and 8. 3rd and 8.
Give him 2 yards. We'll give him, about 10 yards on that.
This is a great situation the Bulldogs want to be in all day. In 3rd and 8 plus, you can really let go of your pass rushers and let them off the chain here.
So Bevins remains at quarterback. Conan, one of the running backs. In fact, he'll be set up right behind Bevins.
It'll be interesting to see what they do on a 3rd and long play here. Roll out left. That's going to be a sack for the hometown kid, Jace Fitzgerald.
And the quarterback is Johnny Herrera. So either that or Bevins went out and Herrera came in as...
It looks like they're going a little bit of a 2-quarterback system now. I'm not quite sure what kind of the thought process will be behind it. I guess we'll kind of see as the game goes on. But that's a huge play by Jace. He's a transfer out of Montana State, coming home to play with the Bulldogs, and he's been doing a great job all year.
And back to return the punt. I believe that's Eli Norse.
He averages over 10 yards per punt return, which is huge in small college football.
And it was a good punt. Norse calls. He just, what's the word I'm looking for? It just kind of escaped me.
Fair caught.
Thank you.
It happens sometimes, Wally.
Yeah, and we've got our friendly Hornet.
I see that.
He's been here before. Well, no, he didn't last very long. That must be his cousin from another brother.
This has been a great start for the Bulldogs so far. 2 big stops on defense. They've given up a few chunk plays here and there, but that's going to happen, and they're going to have to get comfortable stopping some of these odd formations that they're going to see today. It's a lot of old-style Army, Navy, Service Academy type football that they're going to be playing today. And I've watched a little bit of the tape on some of these O-linemen, and they're really good at getting in space. They've got a few returners from last year I know that were really good last year, and they might be young, but they really play hard, and they are good football players that when you give them some space, they're going to be able to make some things happen. So it's about closing the space today. The offensive line has a lot bigger splits than most teams we play in the Frontier Conference, and that can certainly mess up gaps and things like that for the defense.
So we had a media timeout, but we didn't want to go away because it was more fun to talk. 5:32 left to play in the first quarter, and so far it's been a Bulldog first quarter. As Tanner said, 2 great defensive stops and their 1 offensive possession resulted in a touchdown, and the Bulldogs lead 7-zip.
5 minutes left in the first quarter already. I don't think there's been a stoppage in play almost one time.
No
balls have really been on the ground.
So Palandri in shotgun, back to pass. He's got lots of time, and he's got a clean pocket. Shipley wide open and couldn't keep his balance, and he falls, but a great pickup.
He also had Eli Norse open down here on the corner out. What a great read by Mike, sitting back. Offensive line's giving him plenty of time. If they're going to give him time like that all day, it's going to be a good day for the Bulldogs.
So all the way down to the Christian 24-yard line, 24-yard line. 1st and 10 Bulldogs. You know, we look at some of the scoring from last weekend. There was a game that just shocked me when I saw the final score from last weekend in the Frontier.
I could assume I know what game you're talking about.
Yeah.
Wally.
So Palandri back to
Kobe Tanioka, touchdown.
Oh my goodness. And talk about perfect timing between quarterback and receiver.
That's one of those run-pass options, Wally, where he's got the option to give it. He can run it. He can give it to Humphrey, or he can throw the slant. That was an awesome football play right there.
And it's
touchdown.
13-0 Bulldogs. 4:36 left in the first quarter. Mears back to kick the extra point. Mears also helping T.J. Nelson down at the high school and with the high school wrestlers.
He's going on about year 4, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's one of his dreams, is to take over that Beaverhead County wrestling program one of these days.
Kick is up. Kick is good. Mears remains perfect, and the Bulldogs lead 14-0. So 4:36 left to play in the first quarter. It's Bulldogs 14, Firestone Storm zip. We'll be back with more after this on the Bulldog Sports Network. We're back at Bulldog Stadium. Bulldogs on top, 14-zip. And
And he's going to take a knee at about the 26-yard line. That's the freshman kicker for the...
Like last year, when you were, the Dillon boys stepped right in.
And Tyler's done a great job this year again.
So third and about 13, and right up the middle with the ball.
And I think that's a lot of what we're going to see today when they get in these 3rd and long situations. When all they're running is those short routes, they'd rather just hand off the dive or the counter and live with whatever yardage they get on 3rd and long, which is huge for the Bulldogs to get off the field again.
So another 3 and out I guess the other ones were 3 and out. They got a little movement. We don't want to take too much credit away from the Firestorm. They did get the offense going a little bit. But forced to punt for the second time, Eli Norse back to receive for the Bulldogs.
It's another great punt.
Nice high, lots of hang time, and Norse calls a fair catch, and the Bulldogs will take over this possession on about the 26-yard line, give or take an inch or two.
This is one of the first games in quite a few weeks that the Bulldogs have been able to come out and really put together a really good first quarter on both offense, defense, special teams, and kind of put it all together. I know Coach Norris will be happy with that and the way things have gone so smoothly for him here in the first quarter.
Well, last week against Rocky, they got off to a slow start. 2 weeks ago against Tech, they got off to a slow start.
And sometimes that's just how football goes, especially in the Frontier Conference. It really is any given Saturday, so you have to bring your A game every week.
Palandri, all by himself in the background, in motion, is Norse, and that's who gets the ball. And with the end around, he wiggles his way for room.
We're going to have a hold, I believe, on Kirkley back here with the penalty on the ground.
Okay, I didn't see the yellow flag.
I believe it's going to be holding on John Kirkley on the edge right there at the kind of the end of the play.
Well, that erases a nice little play from Eli Norse as both teams come back.
And we'll see what the ref's got to say. Yep, it's going to be on John Kirkley. That's a really tough block right there on the jet sweep where he's trying to get a seal on him. Kind of drove him into the ground. It's a tough play to make for a wide receiver out there, but he's one of the best blockers in the Frontier Conference and one of the hardest workers I know. I know he'll be right back to it on this next play.
So 1st and 20 now for the Bulldogs. So driven back 10 yards with a penalty. Palandri in shotgun, in motion, goes Humphrey. Swing out to Norse, and Norse finds some running room and runs right over a DB for the Firestorm. I mean, right over the top of him.
That was number 22, Nagani Sarsar.
He played like a fullback on that play.
He certainly did. Eli Norse, for as small as he is a very tough player.
Well, and there's a penalty, too.
I didn't quite catch what that call was.
Well, whatever it is, it's
15-yarder, so I'm assuming either an unsportsmanlike conduct or a personal foul. Roughing the passer, they called it. They did have a free rusher off the edge on the backside. That's one thing Arizona Christian loves to do. I was talking to Michael Palandri today about what they kind of do on defense, and they like to bring 5 or 6 on almost every play. That's something they really did a lot last year. And so I know that today they're going to kind of be doing that same thing where they're bringing at least one linebacker off one of these edges.
Well, it's 1st and 10 Bulldogs on their own 48-yard line. In motion is Humphrey again. Palandri back to pass, and wide open is Eli Norse, and he makes one move, then another, and then he's brought down from behind. Good defensive tackle, and we'll see getting up off the bottom of the pile is Nagwani Sercesar. You can say it better than I can.
Sursar on the
good
tackle.
One. Thank you.
Firestorm.
Thank you.
That's another great play by Eli Norse. It is very hard to take him down on first contact. The first man rarely gets to him, and he makes another huge play for the Bulldogs.
Well, you can verify this. I heard that he's one of the strongest Bulldogs on the team.
Pound for pound, absolutely. Getting to play with him last year when he was a true freshman was an honor, and obviously getting to play as the head coach's son always comes with a little extra responsibility, but he has taken it like an absolute true pro, and he is one of the toughest kids that plays for the Bulldogs.
Humphrey right up the middle, and he'll pick up 2 or 3 yards. So it is 2nd and goal Bulldogs from the Firestorm 5-yard line. Bulldogs knocking on the door again. Palandri in motion is Humphrey again. Palandri back to pass. Right over the middle. Was it an interception?
Nope, it's going to be incomplete. He was
going for Kirkley.
To go for Kirkley. That was a very tight window throw. He might have had Kobe a little bit open on the backside, but that was kind of a tough throw. Things get really condensed down there inside the 10-yard line.
So it's 3rd and goal Bulldogs.
Looks like it's about 3rd and 7, I believe. About 7 yards to go, maybe 5.
So Palandri.
Arizona Christian's loading the box here. They've got about 8 guys in the box here.
So they're running. Oh, and there's another end around
Norse.
by Norse, and Norse
Touchdown
falls into
Bulldogs.
well, I was going to say he fell in, but he caught his balance, crossed the end zone, and then fell down.
And that actually counts as a touchdown pass, Wally, because he threw it forward, a little pitch forward. So that's a touchdown pass for Michael Palandri. I believe that's his 17th or 18th on the year already.
Okay. Well, it ups the Bulldogs score to 20-0. John Mears checks in. The Dylan Beaver assistant wrestling coach has a pretty good toe, and he's going to try for the extra point. Kick is up. Kick is good. Mears remains perfect with extra points, and the Bulldogs lead 21-0. We have 49 seconds left to play in the first quarter, and we'll be back with more football on the Bulldog Sports Network. Think about his We're back at Bulldog Stadium. Bulldogs ready to kick off. They lead 21-0. 49 seconds left in the first quarter.
Kobe Johnson with the kickoff for the Bulldogs. Again, he's been doing a great job today, and this looks like another great kick. It might be returnable.
Nope.
It is not. It's in the end zone. He's hit about that same spot every time. That is absolutely huge for the Bulldogs. That is something they haven't been able to have quite that much this year, is that touchback. And that is just huge for the defense to be able to start at the 25 every time.
So 1st and 10, Firestorm.
I'd like to talk a little bit about the atmosphere here at Bulldog Stadium again today. For a team that's coming from all the way from Arizona, there's still quite a bit of people here in Dillon today for this football game.
Well, there's a lot of stuff happening in Dillon. You know, our Beaver audience is a little bit divided because there's Beaver volleyball going on this afternoon.
Yep.
Yeah, so
first down play, they're going to run.
So
that
handoff
again.
to trying to see who they went. Another one of their plethora of running backs.
So Bulldogs shaking up on the play. It looks like Keegan Mufich might have had a little bit of a shoulder stinger right here. It looks like he's going to stay in the football game. That's what that counter, Wally, when they're bringing it back to the other side of the formation with that guy in motion, that can create a lot of problems on the back sides of these runs. That's one thing you see the service academies, Navy and Army, that are really good at, and that's why they're undefeated on the season.
So up the middle again with another trying the inside move is Conan, and he gets a couple, and he's brought down by the interior of the Bulldogs.
The D-line is doing a really good job today so far of closing some of these gaps up. They just have to tighten this space a little bit better in this second quarter.
Well, everybody gets a break as that is one and fast-moving first quarter.
Very smooth.
After
I don't know if there was an incomplete pass.
One.
Was there one? One incomplete pass?
One quarter in the books. Our score, Montana Western 21, Arizona Christian 0. We'll be back with second quarter action on the Bulldog Sports Network. We're back at Bulldog Stadium for the start of the second quarter. First quarter belonged to the Bulldogs. They lead 21-0. This will be the Firestorm now trying to put something together. It's 3rd and we'll call it 5 for the Firestorm. Conan.
Sorry to interrupt you, Wally. This is one of those situations where you might see one of these short passes right here that they've been running.
Okay. Conan. Oh, it's little end around type deal, and he's knocked out of bounds, but he's short a first down yardage, but not. Oh, are they going to give? I guess he did.
Give him the extra 2 yards right there on that.
Yeah,
that was another one of those counters.
Okay, I thought he was pushed out right in behind the sticks, but and we're closer to the field. I should be seen better than that.
And that was Andrew Trapp again on the carry.
1st and 10, Firestorm trying to get something going, get their numbers on the scoreboard. And Herrera back to pass, but it's tipped by a Bulldog defensive lineman.
It looked like it might have been tipped by Jace Fitzgerald there at the very last
linebacker.
Second. And Cale Conan had some space to run there if he had caught that football. That would have been interesting to see how they would have been able to cover that.
Well, Conan, very, very versatile athlete. The Dillon product, he went down to Arizona Christian on a baseball/football scholarship. And he's the lone setback for the Firestorm, and he gets the ball, fights his way through, picks up decent yardage, about 3 yards on the play, before he's brought down by the Bulldogs, James Oakes, and also Swank. Nope, not Swank.
Prado, Aiden Prado.
Off the bottom of the pile.
Another great kid from Washington. I believe he's from Spokane. He's a great kid. Another one of those guys that's been awesome to see him grow as a Bulldog and be able to start again this year.
So 3rd and 7.
Like I said earlier, Wally, it'll be really interesting to see what they keep doing on these 3rd and medium, 3rd and long situations. It's very tough when you're a run-heavy offense to pick these up.
Back to pass is Herrera, and he's sacked. Fitzgerald in on the sack. Also there,
James Oakes.
They're
going to both pick up about a half a sack right there. That's an awesome way of playing that. I know that there are a few of these rollout plays that we really struggled with last year on defense when we went to Arizona, and it's really awesome to see Coach Martello having a great game plan today for everything that has been thrown at them. It's very tough to coach against these offenses that you're not quite sure what you're going to get.
So Adam Klump back to pass for the Firestorm. Norris calls for a fair catch at about the 24-yard line of the Bulldogs, and that's where the Bulldog offense will take over. They've been unstoppable in their 3 previous possessions. You know, I think the time of possession is going to be fairly close. You know,
actually, the Bulldogs in time of possession this year are actually behind
everyone else.
Time of possession. The defense actually averages more time than the offense, and that's just a byproduct of how efficient our offense is in running plays and not getting a lot of negative plays. They average more than 6 yards a play right now, and especially in the passing game. I mean, they're picking up first downs and 8 and 10 yards almost every time this season.
Well, the Bulldogs averaging about 42 points a game, 42, 43 points a game. The Firestorm, they've had problems scoring this year. They only average 16 points a game.
There was a lot of stats that I was able to read last night that were pretty telling of the types of teams and type of game you're going to see today. A lot of third down things. The Bulldogs have the best third down defense, I believe, in the Frontier Conference. They're almost under 38% giving up third down conversions, which is a huge stat. And I know Coach Martello has to love that. He's always big on third down, and he's done a great job game planning for those third down situations. And our offense completes more than 50% of theirs. That is a winning combination when it comes to football.
So after the media timeout, both teams out, Bulldogs possession. Palandri gets the whistle to begin, kind of looks over the Firestorm defense. And handoff to Humphrey, and he finds big space, and it's a foot race. Humphrey down the sidelines all the way for the Bulldog touchdown. No yellow flags anywhere, and it's Bulldogs 27. We still got a We still have an extra point. Yeah.
That's a 77-yard touchdown right there by Jake Humphrey. I believe that is his 6th touchdown of 60 or more yards this season. That is an incredible stat. And I don't know if you were able to see it from your angle, Wally, but a great effort on the blocking by John Kirkley down here to make sure that his teammate is getting into the end zone with a little bit of a brush block, kind of just getting in front of the defender, making sure he doesn't make the tackle. That is a great football play.
So Mears back to try the extra point for the Bulldogs. Seems like we just said that.
We did just say that. It's been one of those days for this Bulldog offense. It's really awesome to see them.
Kick is up, and kick is over the fence and on the highway. So we have 12:50 left to play in the first half. It's Montana Western 28, Arizona Christian nothing, and we'll be back with more second quarter action after this on the Bulldog Sports Network. We're back at Bulldog Stadium. Got to remind everybody, too, along the Bulldog Sports Network, we have Bulldog Volleyball coming up tonight at 6 o'clock as the Bulldog Volleyball team will host Rocky Mountain, and it's the Dig Pink game. So wear pink if you're coming to the game tonight. This time kickoff is taken at the 5-yard line by Smith, and he tries to find room, but great coverage by the Bulldog special team, and he's brought down at about the 24-yard line, his own 24-yard line.
The average starting field position today is about that 24-25-yard line, and like I've been preaching all day, there is nothing better as a defense than going out on that side of the field and knowing you're in favorable position to start every drive.
So it looks like we got another new quarterback, or do we? Oh, no, he's right over center. That's
Yep.
Bevan. I'm so used to, where Palandri is, and that was a good carry right up the middle.
There's not a lot of offenses anymore that are able to go under center like this every single play. You just don't see it very much in college football anymore.
So good first down play, picks up about 7, 2nd and 3 now for Christian.
That was Charles Ennis Jr. on the carry again for the Firestorm. That's his 3rd or 4th carry. They've been giving him a lot of those dives, and he's been picking up pretty good yardage on some of these. He picked up about 7 or 8 right there.
So Bevan right over center. Another handoff. I think this was one of the receivers that came around, and he goes nowhere.
Trevor Hoops on the tackle for the Bulldogs, along with Keegan Mufich. Like I was saying earlier, Wally, that was another one of these counters that they're continuing to run, and the Bulldogs just have to play disciplined football. I talked to Coach Martello earlier this week. He talked about how little they have in for the defense this week. It's just about playing assignment football today.
Well, Andrew Trapp on the carry, and he did pick up a couple yards, so it's 3rd and about 1 for the Firestorm. Bevan right over center. In motion is Trapp. Handoff.
I believe they're going to give him the first down.
I think so, yeah. He fell forward for the first down. So 1st and 10, Firestorm. Ball is marked at their own 35-yard line.
For as young as this Arizona Christian offensive line is on the right side, I believe, or left side, they have 2 sophomores playing. They've been able to run to the left pretty successfully today so far.
So 1st and 10, Firestorm. Herrera back to pass, and he's, overthrew his target.
And he had a man there. That was number 86, the tight end, Trent Watkins out of Washington.
And he had a couple steps on the Bulldog defender.
He really did right there. That could have been a very different way had that throw been right on the money. But this is another one of those rollouts that they are doing a great job of stopping here early. When that quarterback gets out of the pocket, things can open up really easily, and the Bulldogs have done a great job stopping it.
Well, and you got to hand it to Herrera for throwing. That was, it was a little bit over the head, but it was nice and accurate. He had the general direction, is what I'm trying to say.
He certainly did.
2nd and 10 now. Herrera back to pass again. And completed.
It's number 2, Chase Tompkins, out of Highland Ranch, Colorado. He's a transfer out of Dordt University I'm seeing here. They're actually the number 3 team in the country right now, so it's interesting seeing him probably come over here to Arizona Christian and play in the Frontier Conference.
Well, you'd say a little closer to home, but Dort's in Nebraska, aren't they?
Either Nebraska or Iowa. They're number 3 team in the country right now, so they're having a very good year. That was the first time all day, Wally, that they've straight drop back pass from under center. No weird motions or action. He just took a straight 5-step drop back into the pocket. It'll be interesting to see if they continue doing that.
Okay, we've got timeout on the field too. Montana Western 28, Arizona Christian 0. Back with more Frontier football on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Montana Western, our flexible schedule and focus on learning through experience are just right for your world today. Experience One, where you take one course at a time for 18 days and then move on to your next course, is designed to work for you, whether you plan to come to campus, want to stay close to home, or if you need to earn your degree while working or raising a family. And Montana Western is the most affordable university in Montana. Experience the difference, only at University of Montana Western.
We're back at Bulldog Stadium. Arizona Christian called a timeout. And now they're back on the field with a 3rd and 5. We'll give them 5. It's probably closer to 6, but we'll say 5.
This is the first time they've been in this shotgun formation. They're in empty right now.
So Herrera, tipped. I think that wasn't tipped by a Bulldog. I think that was in and out of the hands of Tompkins.
That was another great throw by Herrera. It was very accurate. That was the first time today where they've been in shotgun formation and not been under center and decided to throw the football. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to start switching things up now that they're down 4 possessions.
Well, you had mentioned that they throw a whole bunch of different looks on defense. Maybe we're going to see that same scheme on offense. Norse back to receive. Kick is away, and the Bulldogs apply a little bit of pressure, and a great punt goes out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. We'll see where they mark it.
The hang time on these punts is truly impressive by Adam Klump.
He probably loves the high altitude for his punts.
It's looking like it. He has not let Eli Norris affect the game returning punts, which is something that Eli is great at.
So 1st and 10 Bulldogs, and let's see, they have the ball marked at about the 23-yard line of Montana Western. 1st and 10.
Arizona Christian's given a little bit of a different look here. They've got 3 interior guys on their 3 interior guys. It'll be interesting to see how they play.
And Palandri.
What a catch.
Oh, is that Kirkley? I think that is Kirkley. And he fights for yardage. We'll see how it gets up. That's John Kirkley.
Yep.
John Kirkley had a wrestling match out there for a while trying to get away, and he picked up, another 5 yards after the initial hit. And the Bulldogs all the way down to the Firestorm 20-yard line where it is 1st and 10.
Mike Palandri is going to have a great day if they're going to stay in man coverage. That was man-to-man on John Kirkley. He's going to take that matchup all day. And they also brought 6 on the pressure again, and the offensive line has given him plenty of time. It's going to be a huge day for Michael Palandri if that continues.
Very, very clean pocket. So 1st and 10, Bulldogs. Palandri set. Back to pass again. And wide open for
catch.
Shipley, about the 2-yard line.
I'm not sure if you saw the catch from your angle, Wally, but that was a heck of a catch by Shipley. I saw it through the window over here. What a great job on that kind of a deep out.
So the Bulldogs knocking on the door again.
I'd imagine we're going to see a little bit of a dose of Peter Gibson here inside the red zone, or a little bit of Michael Palandri here on possibly a QB keeper.
I think just what you said. I think I'm not sure who that is. That's Pete Gibson, I believe, number 18. And he's stacked up inside, and a Bulldog offensive lineman lost their helmet. And he'll have to take a break on the sidelines, and here comes his replacement.
That's going to be number 62. That's Ethan Larson, a redshirt freshman out of Washington. He actually played defensive line last year with me and my fellow seniors. He's a great kid. It is super exciting to see him get in this game.
Pete Gibson remains the lone setback for the Bulldogs. Palandri in shotgun. 2nd and goal from the 2.5, and another one to Gibson. Gibson's beat down, loses a couple of yards, and he's back at the 5.
That was the first time all day we've seen penetration early from this interior defensive line of Arizona Christian. Number 91, that is Eric Ibachwa out of Lakeside, California. Great tackle on the play by him. I'm not sure where he came from, but that's the first time all day they've got interior pressure like that.
So 3rd and goal, but instead from the 2, it's back to the 5-yard line for the Bulldogs.
This is one of those situations where we might see a slant or a rollout by Palandri here.
So Palandri back to pass.
Slant to John Kirkley.
Oh, and tipped away. Great defensive play by Cameron Tibbetts. He tipped the ball right out of the hands of the Bulldog receiver, and John Mears will check into the lineup, and he'll get to try a field goal. So good defensive stand by the Firestorm. The Bulldogs march easily down there, but the Firestorm stood their ground and now forced the Bulldogs to a field goal. Mears' kick is up and good. Is it good?
He missed it.
Oh, we missed it. Oh, it looked like it went through.
It was a little bit of a high snap, Wally. That wasn't exactly pristine operation, which you love to have as a kicker, and that's okay. I know John's going to come back. That was his first miss of the season, but you know this crowd's going to love him up, and he's going to take it like a champion, and he's going to come back out and do his job the next one.
So 1st and 10 now for the Firestorm after the missed Bulldog field goal. They'll take 1st and 10. It's from the 20, I believe, isn't it?
Yes.
After the missed
it
field goal.
Comes out to the 20 after the missed field goal, I believe. This is what we'd call a sudden change situation where something kind of didn't go your way. The Bulldog defense thinks they're going to have a kickoff or something else, and they've got to go right out there and play. These situations could be very challenging.
So Bevan at quarterback, he's back to pass, and he'll toss it. He's got a receiver. Smith was open.
I believe that's Trey Brown.
Oh, Trey Brown? Okay.
Our leading receiver. He had a step on the Bulldog defender. I believe that was Braden Swank in coverage. A little bit of an overthrow. That was the first time we've seen them take one of those deep shots today. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to do that a little more. Like I said, being down 4 possessions, your game plan certainly changes.
I'm sure Brown came back and said, "Hey, I had him. Get me the ball."
I'm sure there's something to that conversation. That looks like a misplay right there. I believe that's going to be Aiden Martins on the tackle. I don't have his number right here right away, Wally, but he is also another one of those redshirt freshmen out of Gallatin High School.
I imagine we might see Norse giving some of the youngsters a chance to play a little bit.
Absolutely.
In and out.
At some point today, absolutely.
So 3rd and 13 for the Firestorm. 6:40 left to play, first half.
Another shotgun formation here.
And Herrera is back to pass, and he completes it. See who gets up off the bottom of the pile.
Looked like Jace Fitzgerald on the tackle for the Bulldogs.
Completed pass, but not nearly enough for a first down, so a quick 3 and out. And the Bulldogs force a punt.
That's another great situational football awareness by the Bulldogs. Give up the short pass, let him get a few yards, tackle him, force an easy punt. The Bulldog D-line has done a great job today keeping the quarterback in the pocket. Another huge booming punt.
Big time hang time. And Norse just lets it go, and it's going to roll all the way back to the Bulldog 20-yard line. Smart thinking on Norse, because I think that was a knuckleball coming down.
It's just been an absolute masterclass of punting put on by Arizona Christian right now. They're giving him plenty of time. The Bulldogs are trying to set up a return, and they just haven't allowed it today.
So the Bulldogs back with the ball. Bulldogs lead 28-0. 5:41 remaining in the first half.
So we would call this an unbalanced formation as a defense. They've got 4 guys on one side, back on the same side as well. It's going to be a little bit of a zone insert play to Humphrey there.
And he picks up good yardage, good first down yardage. Makes it second and good.
And for those Bulldog fans at home, what I mean by a zone insert is the tight end right there is leading up the hole, Wally. And actually, today the tight end is Matt Hare is his name, out of Spokane, Washington. He's a sophomore, and he is playing today for Luke Canijo, who has a little bit of an injury and is not playing today.
So 2nd and 4 for the Bulldogs. Palandri in. Here comes a blitz, but Bulldogs get through it. And Humphrey weaves his way again for another Bulldog first down. He's got to be approaching 100 yards already in rushing.
I would say he's probably over 100 yards at this point right now. We'll get the stats at halftime and kind of see. But the O-line's doing a great job of creating lanes right now and handling this interior pressure.
Well, he sent in a new individual game record last week against Rocky with 2:15.
I was able to attend the game last week, Wally, and I can tell you it felt like on the field like he was having a great day. It was awesome to be able to see him have that kind of success on what was kind of a little bit of a choppy game day with lots of penalties and other things kind of affecting the pace of play.
1st and 10, Bulldogs. Palandri back to pass again.
He's got Norse.
And Norse is wide open, and he kicks it into high gear, and he races by the defenders of the Firestorm and into the end zone for another Bulldog touchdown. And you could see him kick into an extra gear.
He is one of the fastest players in the Frontier Conference. I would love to tell a little story real quick, actually, about one of his first practices as a Bulldog last year. He caught a little bit of a tunnel screen, and he took it to the house about 70 yards on the one defense, and I think we all at that moment were like, okay, this kid's special. It's another huge play by Michael Palandri. Plenty of time in the pocket. Executes a great deep crosser to Norse. Easy touchdown.
And Mears is in to attempt the extra point for the Bulldogs. Kick is up.
Much cleaner operation there for the Bulldogs.
Kick is good, and the Bulldogs' lead is 35-0 over the Arizona Firestorm. We'll be back with more second quarter action after this on the Bulldog Sports Network. Back at I keep wanting to say at the Stroud Gymnasium. I still have volleyball in my mind. But back to Bulldog Stadium. And that Latin-sounding song that I don't know the name of, but it sure played at a lot of football games.
It played at just about every one of them.
Yeah. That horn section. Here comes the Bulldog kick.
Another great kick by freshman Kobe Johnson, and it's going to be another touchback.
So that out of the 6 kickoffs that he's had, only 1 has been returned.
I believe I was reading last night that he's only had 5 touchbacks on the season, and he has matched that total here today at Bulldog Stadium, and that is huge for the defense and the operation that they're going to be able to hopefully continue putting on today.
1st and 10, Arizona Christian.
It'll be interesting to see on this drive what they decide to do here on offense. You know, now that they're down 5 possessions, your game plan has changed even more.
Well, looks like Herrera will remain at quarterback, and I'm trying to see the number of the running back, but it's a pass.
There's one of those quick outs to number 2. That is going to be Chase Tompkins on the catch for the Firestorm.
And decent yardage, good first down yardage. He picked up 5 yards. So second and manageable.
It looks like there's a new running back in as well. While I haven't caught his number quite yet, though. That's great disciplined football there by Aiden Prado. Nobody came to block him out on the edge, and that's a great job of being able to sit there and make that tackle and play disciplined football.
That's Jonah Leon, who was on the end around on that one. And he picked up a couple yards, presenting a 3rd and 3 situation for the Firestorm.
I believe it's number 27, John Wilson Jr. playing running back right now, but I could be wrong.
Well, the handoff to Wilson and a fumble, and let's see who has it. Looks like the Bulldogs say they do. And who's picking up?
That is the hometown hero, Tyler Walker from Dillon, Montana, with a huge fumble recovery on the play for the Bulldogs. Another sudden change situation, offense back on the field, Wally.
And deep in Arizona Christian territory, only about 11 yards away from being in the red zone.
I would imagine right here for the offense, we are probably going to see a shot play. A lot of the times on these sudden situations, you want to catch them off guard right away.
So Palandri comes out. Humphrey, the lone setback. Kirkley and Norse out to one side. Shipley and
Kobe Tanioka.
Out to the other side. Here comes blitz, picked up nicely by the Bulldog offensive line. Norse wide open for the Bulldog touchdown.
Like I said, Wally, another shot play, another deep crosser, kind of getting underneath the safeties, just behind the linebackers. Beautiful pitch and catch, touchdown.
And it's 41-0 Bulldogs. So you say a shock play, right?
Shot.
Oh,
like
shot play.
Deep shot downfield.
Okay.
And, I'm kind of excited to see that I got one right today, predicted one.
Well, you could call it a shock play, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can call it pretty much anything. But like I said, after these...
I call it a touchdown.
And we love those here at Montana Western. But I can tell you right now, that was the idea that Kyle Wantland, the offensive coordinator, had in his mind as soon as the Bulldogs got that ball. Let's try and get another one in the end zone here real quick.
Kick is up. Kick is good. So with 3:05 left to play in the first half, it is Montana Western 42 and Arizona Christian 0. Back with more football on the Bulldog Sports Network. Back at Bulldog Stadium, Bulldogs convert a turnover into a touchdown. It's 42-0 Montana Western over Arizona Christian.
Kobe Johnson to kick off again for the Bulldogs. He's been doing a great job today. I haven't got the opportunity to meet him, but I would love to after this game and give him a little bit of congrats and give him his flowers with what a great job he's done today for the Bulldogs in this first half.
Well, he is really slowed down the offense for the Arizona Christian by making them have to. Well, this one is a little shorter, and they call a fair catch.
So that's another win for the Bulldogs, though. He got plenty and a little bit of a hang time on that kick, and that's all right. He's done a great job today, and they're going to set up shop again at the 25-yard line.
Do they set up at the 25? Oh, yep. I was going to say the Bulldogs were lined up at the 20. Now they move back to the 25.
That's kind of a new rule in college
Yeah,
football.
brand
new.
new.
Don't know. It's been a couple of years now, but you can, anytime you're inside that 20 and in 20 to the end zone, you can call a fair catch. Ball automatically comes out to the 25.
Which saves a lot of angst with a lot of special teams coaches.
It certainly does.
Herrera back to pass for the Firestorm. Oh, right through the hands of a Firestorm receiver.
He took a huge hit right there, Wally. He didn't go to the ground, but I believe it was either Jace Fitzgerald or James Oakes. And I think Johnny Herrera hit his hand on the top of the helmet. It looks like he's kind of holding his fist like he might have hit his hand on the top of his helmet.
That ball was intended for Andrew Trapp.
They've gotten him the ball a lot here in the first half.
Another freshman. You see all these freshmen on the Firestorm roster, and then you look ahead a couple of years, they're going to be pretty good.
Absolutely. Once you can get some continuity in your program and get these freshmen in and get playing time early, it creates future success.
Herrera back to pass. Oh, and he's going to overthrow his receiver by a lot.
Great coverage by Aiden Prado on that fake right there.
Trey Brown, the intended receiver, but he would have, see, Trey Brown is 5'9". He would have had to have been 6'9" to get that one.
Eventually, they're going to keep trying to connect on one of these shots. No matter what the score is here in this first half, and even when we get into the second half, they're going to continue to try and get him the ball downfield. You really need a big play, as the Firestorm right now are a little bit reeling down 42, obviously. They're going to try and get a big play, get a little spark going into half.
So 3rd and 10, 2:53 left to play in the first half. Firestorm trailing 42-0, and
big play. That's going to be Aiden Martin on the sack. I can hear the Bulldog D-line coach to our right over here going crazy. Justin Hurd, he's done a great job this year. Huge sack for the freshman for the Bulldogs.
So that's a big loss, about a 11-yard loss on the play. So it makes it 4th and a trip to Melrose almost for a Firestorm first down.
It also looked like Keepa Sakalia was in on that sack as well. Huge for him out of Maui, Hawaii.
Punt is away. Another high one. Short, though. Norris doesn't call for a fair catch, or I guess he did call for a fair catch.
Well, that is supposed to be a penalty if they're going to call that. I'm almost certain that.
Well, yeah, that's what
it's like. Supposed to be a penalty if you decide to run it, but I didn't see him wave the fair catch. I'm not quite sure if he might have done it a little early before we looked.
Well, now they're talking about it.
It looks like they're just going to keep it at about the Bulldog.
Yep.
Bulldog 45.
So Bulldogs in excellent field possession for this possession, and we're about ready to have the 2-minute timeout that happens at the end of each half. So 1st and 10, Montana Western, ball at their own 44-yard line. Palandri back to pass. Oh, Norris almost broke another one big.
A shoelace away. Like I said earlier, the first guy rarely gets Eli Norris on the ground.
Well, now we reach, it's 1:56 left, so we have the mandatory, another new rule, a 2-minute timeout. And we'll be back with the final minute and 56 seconds of the first half after this on the Bulldog Sports Network. Back to Bulldog Stadium, Wally Felt along with Tanner Harrell and, of course, our producer Brett Wiebe. And welcome to Bulldog football on a beautiful fall afternoon.
Opening day of hunting season, Wally.
Oh, that's why all the people in camouflage are running around, Dylan.
It certainly could be.
I thought maybe one of the stores had a sale on camouflage or something, because they're all over the place.
Town certainly grows in population every year around this weekend.
1st and 10 Bulldogs. Handoff And who's got the ball? Is it?
That's going to be Dion. I believe Dion, he is a sophomore out of Nevada. He was a transfer from Nevada 2 years ago. I'm not quite sure on his last name. I have to find it here on the roster. Dion Williams out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Well, he's got good moves out there, and I'm sure we're going to see more running back. Is Curvin hurt? We haven't seen him for a while.
I'm not quite sure. I'd imagine we'll get to see him carry the ball today should he be healthy.
DJ Curvin is one of
Another big play by Norse here.
Oh, he just woved his way through the. That's an ESPN play.
He is incredible.
That is an ESPN play.
I believe that's his third touchdown of the day. He is off to a huge start in his Bulldog career. I think he's played about 18, 19 games now, and he is already approaching record status.
Well, first-team All-American as a freshman, that doesn't happen a whole heck of a lot.
And like I said, being the head coach's son, that comes with its own
extra pressure.
And he has taken it like a champion every single day.
John Mears back to try the Bulldog extra point. Kick is up, and kick is good, and the net was, he missed it.
No good.
So he missed his first extra point, and he missed his first field goal.
And, as much as I hate to say this as being a football guy, and there's no better time for it to happen than right now. As weird as that is to say, in a game like this, it's happening late. You don't like to see those mental lapses, but I know Johnny will be back and be just fine. I didn't quite see what was wrong with the operation there, but that's very rare that he misses an extra point.
So with 1:17 left to play, it's Montana Western 48, Arizona Christian 0. Back with the Bulldog kickoff after this on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Montana Western, our flexible schedule and focus on learning through experience are just right for your world today. Experience One, where you take one course at a time for 18 days and then move on to your next course, is designed to work for you, whether you plan to come to campus, want to stay close to home, or if you need to earn your degree while working or raising a family. And Montana Western is the most affordable university in Montana. Experience the difference. Montana Western.
Kickoff. Kick is away a little bit lower, but it's going to go. Oh, nope, it's returnable this time. But the Bulldog special teams converts, and the return specialist picks up some nice yardage after he picked up the kickoff. That was Brown, I believe. Was that Trey Brown?
Yep, I believe so. And I believe number 44, I believe that's Cale Van Campen on the tackle, I believe. Yep, 44, Cale Van Campen out of Havre, Montana.
So that is a good way to start after a nice little positive return like that. Sometimes it's the little things like that get you going.
And you see, even with the return they got, they still only got to about the 26-yard line. So right about in where they've been starting most of the day.
So handoff and no good, or I should say pickup of about 3 yards. I was looking at the quarterback as he got up, and that was Herrera. I wonder if Bevins is hurt. We haven't seen him for a few possessions.
For some reason, the clock's not running here in the stadium right now, Wally. It should. I'm not sure if they called a timeout. The ref is calling to keep this clock running. I'm sure that right now the Firestorm would like to just get into halftime and talk about what's went on.
So Firestorm handoff up the middle, taking seconds away with the run.
That's Cale Conan.
Cale Conan picks up good yardage. He's brings the ball down to, we'll see where they mark it. Pickup of about 4 or 5 yards, so it'll present a 3rd and 3 situation.
I'd imagine Firestorm are going to take this down to about a few seconds left on the play clock, try and get to halftime here.
Handoff to Conan. Oh, and he breaks through for a first down to the Firestorm 40-yard line. Good blocking by the front of the Firestorm. And it's 1st and 10, Arizona Christian.
I'm not sure if an Arizona Christian is going to let this run out. They elected to not use a timeout, so they're going to just take this into half. And Bulldogs are going to get the ball at halftime.
So we're going to call it halftime right now. After 2 quarters of football, it's Montana Western 48, Arizona Christian nothing. We'll be back with maybe some halftime chatter after these messages on the Bulldog Sports Network. We're back at Bulldog Stadium, and it's halftime. Bulldogs leading the Firestorm of Arizona Christian 48-0. In the press box, we have Montana Western Athletic Director Michael Filing. And Michael, thanks for taking time out, because I know it's kind of crazy down there.
It is, but thanks to the opening of hunting season, we don't have as many fans today, but no, it's always fun to join you.
Well, I mean, this is the fourth game here. It's been growing pains. I guess that would be the mild way to put it from the first one. How's everything working out now that you're 4 games in?
Yeah, it's going great, and when you always open up something new, and especially when you've played at Vigilante for so long, people are used to certain things, running this way, doing things this way, and so there's always that little bit of confusion, that little bit of chaos, but we got the best fans in the world, and for them just to adapt to it and be good, it's been awesome. So a few little kinks that we have to work out here. And other than that, it's rolling along.
Well, with the new layout and stuff like that, we have the berm over there for fans. We have a tailgate section. You've upped the concession stand a little bit to give people all kinds of choices and stuff like that. What's been the feedback on that? Because you're doing things a lot different than we've done in a long time.
And that was one of the first things I got when I got here was like, the chancellor said, we want you to bring some stuff, but, try not to make too many changes right away. But we figured, with this beautiful stadium like this, and I mean the mountains in the background, the big feedback we've gotten is that it's a college atmosphere. And that's the biggest thing that we've set out from the very beginning to do. We're in a phase where we have to generate revenue. Traveling to our football schedule next year, the amount of travel that we're going to have, we gotta generate revenue. We gotta pay for certain things, and but our fans have just been unbelievable. They've helped us, make the adjustments to this, but they love the college atmosphere. And I mean, you take a look at it, the beer garden, all the different options that you have to choose from in terms of food. It's awesome, and that's what we wanted.
Well, and talking to Travis Gibson, the manager of the bookstore, he's getting sales in a few games like he gets for the whole year.
Yep. It's almost if you build it, they will come. The Field of Dreams. I know Keith Handlos, our good buddy, he basically said that he would love to just sit out and watch, the Field of Dreams on the Field of Dreams literally for us. And, you build it, they'll come, and we've certainly seen that.
Well, this is kind of crazy times for athletic departments. I mean, next week you have you have your winter sports and your fall sports colliding together.
Yep. No, we do, and it's always great. When my first year here, we didn't have a lot of home games for some reason with the schedule and everything else. And as an AD or as an administrator, there are all those Saturdays where you're like, okay, I can just kind of sit and watch the game, have a beer and watch the game. But there's nothing better than watching the dogs and watching the games and being busy and having our student athletes out in front of our fans. Cutting back on the travel, keeping them in class more, and it's going to be fun. We got the Western Classic next week. We got our men's basketball team ready to tip off, and we're looking forward to a great season from them. Women tipped off yesterday at Dickinson State, made the long trip back, and they're back now, and it's running along. Then we'll have cross country, and the Frontier Conference, they kind of jam everything together, and it's hard to pick which event you're going to go to, and it's even harder, but I can't complain when all your teams are going to be players at the championship. So it's kind of like, all right, where do you go? Can you make the trip? Can you get there by this time? But it's a great problem to have. And
this fall is very reminiscent of last fall as far as the fall sports go. You've got a great football team, a great volleyball team, and cross country's on the rise.
Yep. No, Taylor Grove's done a phenomenal job. She's actually out recruiting at the state meet right now. She's had several players or athletes reach out to her, and so she said, can I go up there? I said, absolutely. She's done an incredible job of growing our program, and we have throwers now for track and field. We have, it's getting back to where, and you're a big historian, and you love the track and field side of it too, but it's getting back to where when you were there and watching it, and it's just awesome to see and continuing to grow.
Well, it's as we've said it numerous, and I think you closed your talk at the Booster Bash with 2 words: "Go Dogs."
Go Dogs, yep. And it's, the other one, not a Jim Harbaugh fan, but basically said, who has it better than us? Right now, nobody. And I live by that, and truly thankful, just as sitting out here looking over the mountains, the sun. I mean, there's not a cloud in the sky. It's truly awesome.
Okay, Michael, I'm going to let you get back to your craziness on the field. Thanks
Sounds
for
good.
joining us.
Thanks, Wally.
Michael Filing, athletic director at Montana Western, and we're going to turn things back over to the technical side of things, and we're going to take a little break from Bulldog Stadium, and we'll be back with the second half after this brief timeout on the Bulldog Sports Network. Good afternoon, Bulldog fans. We're back after a little time out. You wouldn't say that the end of October we take a break so we could go stand out and cool off, but that's what we had to do.
It's one of those days in Dillon. Nice 65-degree day. Beautiful day for football.
Well, I'm guessing it's warmer than 65 where we are.
Certainly. The sun and the inside of these press boxes certainly add some.
And our natural glow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we're just about ready to kick things off. Bulldogs will receive the opening kickoff. And we were kind of talking a little bit of what's the Bulldogs strategy going to be. And you think the Bulldogs stable of running backs is going to get a lot of work.
Yeah, I would think so. Coach Norris loves to come out in these games and run the football. He's not really much one for running the score up on teams. And, they've got a nice, comfortable lead right now. What he just wants to see is crisp, clean execution throughout the rest of the game. No dumb penalties. Be a disciplined football team and do it the Bulldog way.
Well, you have stats, too, so we'll get to the stats in a little bit. We'll also go over the Frontier Conference standings in a little bit. Ball goes out of bounds, so ball taken will be on the 25-yard line. I believe. Is it 20 or 25?
It's the 25-yard line nowadays.
I'm getting confused with all these new rules.
It went from 20 to 25, and now in the NFL, a touchback is actually out to the 30. So things have certainly changed. It'll be interesting to see if college football ever adopts the new NFL kickoff rules. So to give you some stats here, folks at home, Michael Palandri had a half for the history books, 6 passing touchdowns, 13 of 15 completions, and he also had 385 yards passing, which is near his average for a game just in the first half.
Well, he's in shotgun position right now, and I believe that is Humphrey in the background. His number kind of
Gibson.
Okay, and Pete comes up big. Yeah, Mr. Engine 18. He wears that legacy number 18 number. Picks up about 15 yards on the carry. You have better eyes than I do. You have those new young eyes.
And I've also played with these guys. I kind of know how they all look and how they stand and everything like that. So it's a great carry for Peter. I'd imagine he'll get a pretty heavy workload on this drive for the Bulldogs. And I'd imagine they get another score here, they'll be thinking about putting in some twos for sure.
So in motion is Shipley. Palandri, another handoff to Gibson. He'll pick up about 4 or 5 yards. We'll give him 4 yards. He's brought down at his own 45-yard line by the Firestorm. And I guess the Firestorm defenders would not be in the defensive spotting chart, would they? The offensive. That was Ben Strawn who picked up the tackle for the Firestorm. Ben, a junior from Phoenix, played high school ball at Northwest Christian High School.
It looks like they've also got some new D linemen that aren't on the 2 deep end right now, probably getting the young guys some playing time.
Palandri rolling out, avoids one tackle, avoids another tackle, good blocking, and he's just going to run out of bounds.
That's a great job by Eli Wells, number 78 for the Bulldogs. Great job staying out there and blocking in space. He is a very large human. 320 pounds, about 6'4". He came from Snow College, which is also where Coach Jed Heffernan came from. Fun little story here for you, Wally. He ran a half marathon here in Beaverhead County in under 2 hours in the spring.
So that's why you've been inspired to run one, huh?
But I certainly won't be running one at the size he is. He is truly a freak athlete.
So 3rd and 4 for the Bulldogs. Ball on their side of the 50. Palandri over the middle, and Norris picks up another catch and just runs out of bounds. He's got the first down, and he's out of bounds on his own at about the Arizona Christian 46-yard line.
Another great catch by Eli Norris, just picking up yards. He had 165 yards in the first half. Huge game for him. He's been a little bit quiet the last few weeks. He wants to get the football. He's doing a great job today. He also had 3 first-half touchdowns.
So Norris goes way out to one side, Kirkley the other, and Shipley right down in front of us. Palandri handoff to Gibson. Gibson finds opening. He finds big yardage. He's knocked out of bounds finally at the Arizona Christian 30-yard line, but another first down carry for Pete Gibson. Pete, of course, you're talking about Hall of Fame relatives. his uncle Trent went into the Hall of Fame last year.
Yep, it's really awesome to see how many Bulldogs that we got to play with that had Hall of Fame family members. Even one of our managers a few years ago, Grace Ward, her dad is a Hall of Famer here. Great family. It's just really cool, the history that's rooted in Bulldogs.
So Palandri, 1st and 10, ball on the Firestorm 30-yard line. And Pete Gibson, is he going to break? He just, shoestring tackle kind of slowed him down a little bit, but he still picked up first down yardage, big-time first down yardage. Let's see where they mark it.
Looks like it's going to be about the 6-yard line there, Wally.
So 1st and goal, Bulldogs on the running legs of Mr. Peter Gibson.
And like I was telling you before we got back on the air, the Bulldogs averaged 14 yards a carry, just 10 carries for 144 yards as a team. Most of that was Jake Humphrey, who's averaging about 20 yards a carry. I'd imagine we won't see him the rest of the day, but they are keeping that going here in the second half.
Well, Gibson, quite the student athlete. Like we said, he wears the number 18 legacy number.
It's really awesome for another Dillon kid to be able to don that number.
And Gibson, this time, somebody just reaches out and grabs his jersey and pulls him down. That was brought down by Max McDowell. Max McDowell, good stop there. And it's 2nd and goal, Bulldogs, from now is that 5-yard line?
The 5-yard line. I think he picked up about a yard on that play. I'd imagine right here we'll see some type of run-pass option from the Bulldogs, depending on the situation here, or we could just see another dose of Peter Gibson.
So Palandri in shotgun. Hand off to Palandri. Palandri keeps it and rolls in for a Bulldog touchdown.
That's another touchdown. That's going to be 7 on the day, I believe. Don't quote me on this, but I believe that ties the Bulldog record for touchdowns in a single game. I believe that is ties.
Well, he's thrown them though. That's his first rushing touchdown.
That's his first rushing. 7 total touchdowns.
So 7 total. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'd say that's a pretty good day.
Yeah.
He's had quite a few of those games this year.
Yeah, and to think when he was first mentioned as a quarterback, nobody really kind of knew who he was, except that he came here with his 2 buddies from Maple.
Yep, and absolutely, he comes from an absolutely great family, great mom and dad. It's awesome to be able to be friends with them. It's really cool to see him grow as a player. I remember him coming in as a freshman. We knew he was going to be special. But I can tell you right now, that first game last year against Eastern Oregon, his first career college game, we had no idea what we were truly in for.
Well, the Bulldogs lead now 55-0 over the Firestorm. Back with the Bulldog kickoff after this on the Bulldog Sports Network. Back at the Bulldog Stadium, 10 minutes, 11 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Bulldogs on the board again with their first possession in the third quarter, going for a touchdown, basically off the legs of Peter Gibson.
Yep, just a lot of running the ball. I'd imagine we're going to see a lot of that in the second half. That's Coach North's philosophy. When we get up in games like that, he's going to run the football, keep his players healthy, respect the other team, and get out with a W and move on to next week.
I was talking to Michael Filing, Western's athletic director, at halftime, and this next week it's the colliding of winter and sport and fall sports between football and volleyball. We also have men's and women's basketball and cross country.
I'm super excited to be able to call some of those basketball games this year again on the microphone for the college, and I think they're primed for a really good season, women's and men's, both of them.
Nice move by Brown, and he's knocked out of bounds at his own 35-yard line. Good play there by Brown, trying to make something happen. And, sometimes a good return sparks a team.
It certainly can. In these tough games, you're down a big amount, and right now gets them a little momentum. They're going to try and get something going here on offense. You want to get some momentum going into the next week. The tackle on that kick was by Reese Stanish. Great kid out of Bozeman. Love seeing him have success as a Bulldog.
So 1st and 10, Firestorm. And it's still Herrera, and he finds lots of, the running back finds lots of running room.
That's going to be number 2 on the carry.
Chase Tompkins.
That's another wide receiver running the football. That's about the 10th different player that's probably had a carry today. And like we said just a few minutes ago, that gives them a lot of momentum starting with the ball at about that 36-yard line. So
and they're quickly on the 40-yard line of the Bulldogs. Good field position.
I'd look for the Bulldogs to stiffen up here on defense and get a quick stop.
So another handoff, this to Conan right up the middle, and he picks up good yardage, about 7 yards on the carry. Tackled by his cousin.
Fitzgerald, tackled by his cousin. That's a super cool thing to see, and I'm sure the families love to see that.
Well, we've got the Conan Fitzgerald family right below us here.
Yep, and I'm sure they're celebrating and having fun getting to watch their 2, obviously, nephews' sons play.
So 2nd and 4, and Conan with the ball again. He'll pick up a first down for the Firestorm.
And that's Jace Fitzgerald on the tackle again, Wally. I'd love to be in these huddles to hear what the conversation is between those two, if there's any.
He'd probably say, nice run, cuz.
I'm not sure how it quite go. I never did play against a family member, but I'm sure it's got to be interesting.
1st and 10, Firestorm on the Bulldog 30-yard line. And Tompkins with a little end around, and he picks up nice yardage. So they have made some good adjustments at halftime. They're moving the ball pretty easily against that Bulldog defense.
I think a lot of what it has to do with, Wally, is just mostly it looks like we've got a Bulldog injured here. I believe that's J.K. Sheely on the ground for the Bulldogs. This is something you don't want to see in one of these games that's already out of hand. But like I was saying, Wally,
and we're going to take a quick break. We'll get the camera away from the injury, and we'll be back with Bulldog football on the Bulldog Sports Network. We're back at Bulldog Stadium, and J.K. Shee walks off under his own power, and that's good to see.
Yep, we love to see that. Like I was telling you during the break, Wally, we don't want to see any injuries like that in this situation. You still have to play your guys, and you still have to play the game, but you just hope to make it to next week healthy when the game is kind of out of hand like this. It'll be cool to get to see some of these young Bulldog defense defenders out there, and especially on offense as well when that time comes. It's really interesting to see what a great job these coaches have done recruiting the last 3 or 4 years. And
the second and 3 for the Firestorm. They've got something going here, maybe putting their first points on the board. They trail the Bulldogs 55-0. Conan with the ball up the middle, and he gets big yardage and a first down, and he's stopped down at the Bulldog 15-yard line. So Conan, the Dillon Montana product, making good yardage. I imagine how many Bulldog games he's been to over the years.
I'm sure it's countless, and like you said, Bulldog history is big in their family. It's really cool to get to see him play in his hometown.
Tompkins with another end around, and he picks up decent yardage, and finally they blow the whistle. It was almost like a tush push from the wide receiver.
Yeah, and I've got a little stat here for you, Wally, about the defense. They have done a really good job in the red zone this year. They've had quite a bit of stops. I believe the teams are only scoring about 65-70% of the time when they get to the red zone. That's a huge stat. especially when the touchdown percentage is about half.
So
Ball's on the ground.
another fumble and a nice Arizona Christian drive is stopped by a turnover. Bulldogs recover the fumble.
Awesome job by Devin Crow. Great redshirt freshman D end out of Kamiakin, Washington. He's doing an absolutely great job this year.
And
Big force fumble there.
And Prado falling on the ball for the Bulldogs. So the Bulldogs stop a very good Arizona Christian drive and take over on their own 15-yard line. Palandri remains at quarterback for the Bulldogs. Hand off to Pete Gibson. He finds yardage, big yardage, first down yardage. He's down to about the 27, 28-yard line of the Bulldogs. Good enough for another Bulldog first down.
Bulldogs are probably over 600 yards by now on offense. Wally, like I was telling you at half, they were at about 530 in that first half, which is usually a great whole game stat. This is really cool to see. They've got to be up at about 615 yards of offense right now.
So 1st and 10, Montana Western on their own 25-yard line. Palandri handing off again to Gibson. Gibson fights his way through but doesn't quite make it. You thought he was going to break it. He broke enough to pick up a couple of yards. We'll see where they mark it. Yep, they're going to give him 2, barely 2. So it will be 2nd and 8, Montana Western. Well, I guess 9.
Yeah, this is the first time in a while they've been in one of these situations. On
Second and 9,
long.
yeah.
And even with the score the way it is, this can still create an interesting situation for the offense. I'd imagine they'll just run some zone here, inside zone probably.
So Palandri back.
And they're going to drop back to pass.
And Palandri open to Norse, and Norse picks up the first down. He's run out of bounds at about the Bulldog 40-yard line.
It looks like there's another Bulldog down on the play right here. I believe that's Keith Kippenham.
I think that was Jordan Francis who chased Norse out of bounds.
This is just not what you want to see at this point in the game. Great kid, senior out of Deer Lodge, Montana. One of my great friends. I hate seeing him walk off the field like that. I hope he's okay.
So that will bring in, for the Bulldogs, number 63.
I think it's number 62, Ethan Larson.
62,
again.
okay.
It looks like Rocco Beccari is going to move to left tackle, and then Ethan Larson will move to right tackle.
1st and 10, Montana Western. Palandri back to pass, runs away from a blitz, gets good yardage with his feet down to about the 41-yard line, and Palandri's helmet comes off, so Jenkins will have to come in.
Caden Jenks, senior out of Royal, Washington.
Well, and he got a haircut since last year.
Yeah, he certainly used to have some long hair. He's a great kid. He originally played at Weber State. It's really cool to see him get in for this game. He is the ultimate teammate, great player, great human being.
So 2nd and 6 now for Montana Western. Caden Jenks at quarterback for Montana Western. Handoff to Gibson, and Gibson finds nice yardage. He gets the first down and about 10 yards more. He's brought down at the Arizona Christian 45-yard line.
That was a great dose of running there by Peter Gibson. He had really good patience at the point of attack, let his blocks play out, and then hit the hole hard.
So 1st and 10 Bulldogs, and you're right, the offensive attack has been on the ground. Pass here and there, but mainly via the ground attack. 4:17 left to play in the third quarter. Bulldogs lead 55-0 over Arizona Christian.
Looks
Jenks
like
back pass.
Backside.
Oh, and he completes the pass to Kirkley. and the defender a little slow getting up.
That was one of those plays where the wide receiver didn't see the hit coming.
Maybe knocked the wind out of him. It looks like
I'm not sure. That didn't look too good. Kirkley called for help immediately. We don't love to see that.
Okay, so while they figure out what's going on, we'll be back with more football on the Bulldog Sports Network after these messages.
Montana Western, our flexible schedule and focus on learning through experience are just right for your world today. Experience One, where you take one course at a time for 18 days and then move on to your next course, is designed to work for you, whether you plan to come to campus, want to stay close to home, or if you need to earn your degree while working or raising a family. And Montana Western is the most affordable university in Montana. Experience the difference, only at University of Montana Western.
Back to Bulldog Stadium, the injured Firestone player walking off on his own, so that's a good sign.
Yep, that's a great sign to see, Wally. He took a huge hit. It looks like he's okay. Probably just got knocked the wind out of him. Really happy to see him walk off under his own power.
So 1st and 10 now, Bulldogs. Ball marked at the Arizona Christian 20-yard line. And Palandri is back in the Bulldog lineup. And handoff to Gibson. Gibson's hit first in the backfield, but he struggles forward for about 2 yards, 1 or 2 yards. So he broke the tackle of Cameron Tibbetts.
Skylar Alton on the tackle from Arizona Christian for the Firestorm, a sophomore.
So 1 yard carry. 2nd and 9 now, Bulldogs. 3:20 left to play in the third quarter.
Well, and just a little bit of insight on these 2nd and long situations. I was wrong back there about them running the football. They could throw another pass here, but these 2nd and long situations are what you want to be in as a defense, especially for Arizona Christian right now.
Palandri back to pass. Kirkley. Oh, a nice defense. I think pass interference is going to be the call.
Yeah, well, he's got to get his head around and look for the football. They're pretty much going to call that face guarding stuff pretty much every time. That was a great effort by Kirkley to go up and try and come back to the football. That's why he ultimately got that call on that penalty.
And unlike in the NFL, they don't get the ball right there. Is it a 10-yard penalty?
I'm not sure how it works in the red zone. I know the college rules are a little bit different. I believe it's a half the distance to the goal penalty, probably because of where they're at.
Okay,
so
you're right.
They'll probably set up shop about the 4 or 5 yard line.
You're right. Well, not really. 4.5. You were almost right.
Almost there.
You were almost there.
Like we said, it's our first time out.
Yes.
Trial run.
Yeah.
We'll call it.
Yeah.
I believe they call it the pilot episode.
1st and goal, Bulldogs from, we'll call it the 5 yard line. Palandri all by himself in the backfield.
I would look for probably a QB keeper here, possibly, or a jet sweep.
And that's what it is. And Tanioka, he was gobbled up, swallowed up by the defenders from Arizona Christian, led by Skylar Alton. Also there was Jordan Francis, and there was a couple others there, but those are the numbers we saw. So it remains, they're going to give him maybe a yard?
There's a number 63 in for the Bulldogs. We don't have who that is. They don't even have a 63 listed on the roster. And it looks like they've got an extra all-line package in, so I'd imagine we're going to see a heavy dose of the run here.
So Palandri gives it to Gibson, and Gibson breaks one tackle, but Arizona Christian swallows him up again right about the 5 yard line. I think that's where they're going to stop progress.
There has been some interior pressure today from Arizona Christian. If there is one bright side through all this, they've done a good job up front for the most part in some of these runs down in the red zone, getting interior pressure.
So 3rd and 5 now. 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line for the Bulldogs.
Looks like they're going to line up in the I formation right here. We don't see that very often in Montana Western, so it'll be interesting to see what this play is.
Palandri rolls out, passes in the end zone for the touchdown.
Matt Hare, the sophomore out of Spokane, Washington, his first career touchdown. That is awesome to see that happen for him.
As a tight end, too.
Yep, we don't throw very many touchdowns to the tight end, Wally. That is awesome to see. I am super happy for him, and I know his family's got to be super excited seeing that today.
So Michael Palandri throws his 7th touchdown pass?
Seventh touchdown pass, his 8th overall. I do believe that is probably the total touchdown record here at Western.
So John Mears with the extra point, and the Bulldog lead is 62-0 with 1:31 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Did it go over the...
It did. It's on the highway.
Okay, here comes the car. We'll be back with more Bulldog versus Arizona Christian football, and we'll do it after this on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Himself too.
Back at Bulldog Stadium, Bulldogs leading Arizona Christian 62-0 with 1:31 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Bulldogs kicking off to the Firestorm. Kick is away and falls into the end zone. Well, not quite in the end zone.
It didn't go in the end zone. He's going to have to take that out, Wally.
Well, and you never know. Sometimes something like that results into big plays.
Yeah, when the ball checks up at the 1-yard line like that, it can create a little bit of a lapse too for the kickoff team. I know Coach Martello, who usually coaches kickoff, he's big on running through the goal line, so I'd imagine he's going to have something to say about that to the return team, not getting them pinned inside the 10-yard line.
Ball is on the Arizona Christian 21-yard line. 1st and 10. Christian had something going, and then they fumbled the ball away, and the Bulldogs scored on it. So let's see if they can keep that offensive momentum going without a turnover. Herrera back to pass, chased out of the pocket by the Bulldog defenders, and he is chased out of bounds at the 15-yard line. And you saw an opening?
It looked like he was sacked by Cale Van Kempen, but what I was going to mention was that was a one-man route combination, Wally. There was only one guy out in a route. I don't know if that was a busted play. It looked like it was supposed to be a fake reverse. I'm not quite sure what they were trying to do there, but a great job by the Bulldog defense to stay disciplined and get after the quarterback.
58 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. Arizona Christian with the ball, 2nd and about 15. Ball is marked at their own 15-yard line.
I think they're up to about 5 or 6 sacks on the day.
And running the ball, I think that was Cale Conan. We'll see who gets up off the bottom of the pile.
It looked like it was number 23 on the carry.
Okay. And he's limping off. He comes up with a gimpy ankle. He'll go off and see if he can just shake it off before he comes back in again. But nice yardage on 2nd down, getting back the lost yardage, and plus about 3 or 4 more. So it's 3rd and, 7?
Yeah, about that. It looks like they're going to take it here to the 4th quarter, Wally.
Okay, so we're going to take a break right now after 3 quarters of football. It is Montana Western 62, Arizona Christian 0. Back with quarter number 4 after this from the Bulldog Sports Network. Back to Bulldog Stadium. Bulldogs scored another touchdown and lead 62-0 over Arizona Christian. And Christian has the ball 3rd and 7, and the ball is spotted at their 24-yard line, their own 24. And Herrera remains at quarterback.
Looks like they're going to be in another one of those shotgun formations right here, Wally. Oh, looks like he's telling him going into shotgun here. They haven't done that very much today, only usually when they've passed the ball.
So Herrera back, chased out of the pocket, trying to find some running room, and does. And I think he picked up the first down with his legs. Yep, he did.
That was the first time all day that the Bulldog defensive line has given up one of those what we would call a pass rush lane and didn't keep our integrity on that. That's something that Coach Martello and Coach Hurd are big on, I know. And for that to be the first time all day here in the fourth quarter, I know they hate to see it right here, but they've done a great job on that all day.
Well, Herrera has done a good job of directing the Arizona Christian offense. Back to pass again. And it's caught, but dropped, or is it?
Looks like they're going to call it a catch, and then he dropped it after the fact, and he's also going to be down on the play.
Well, I think he came down on the football. That looks like someone who has the wind knocked out of him, but then again, we're not doctors, so... We'll keep it. We'll turn it back over for a quick timeout on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Montana Western, our flexible schedule and focus on learning through experience are just right for your world today. Experience One, where you take one course at a time for 18 days and then move on to your next course, is designed to work for you, whether you plan to come to campus, want to stay close to home, or if you need to earn your degree while working or raising a family. And Montana Western is the most affordable university in Montana. Experience the difference, only at University of Montana Western.
Back to Bulldog Stadium and back to action here. It will be 1st and 10 Firestorm from their own 35-yard line. I always like it when they mark it right on the yard line instead of having to go.
Easy, doesn't it?
Let's see now. Is that the 23 or the 25 or the 24?
It looks like the Bulldogs have mostly the twos in right now, Wally. It looks like they've got mostly the twos in the defensive backfield and at linebacker, and then a few different rotational players in at D-line. It's good to see the young guys getting some playing time out there.
So 2nd and 8 now for Arizona Christian. Herrera right over center, and the Christian running back I think it was an end around, but he ran into his own teammate.
That's going to be a tackle for loss for Tommy Leonard out of Missoula, Montana. Love seeing him get in on the action there. Great kid, great teammate. Awesome for him.
So 3rd, and now we're back to 9 for the Firestorm. Herrera back to pass, and he's swallowed up by the Bulldog defenders.
That's a big sack for Noah Rimmer. He had a couple of sacks last week. Going to get the Bulldogs off the field here, force a punt.
So Eli Norris back to receive a punt, which he hasn't had a chance to do yet because of the very, very good punting of the Firestorm's Adam Klump.
Yeah, Eli Norris, I believe he leads the Frontier in a return average, and he's just been totally shut out today when he's had the opportunity.
Oh, and this is a bad one. It's going to go into the stands. Got to get your hands up, folks.
Yeah, that's going to look like it's going to be almost a net negative punt nearly. It looks like it got about, or maybe it is going to be a positive. Let's see where they decide
Not
to mark
much,
this.
though.
I'm not quite sure yet. It looks like they're still walking. It looks like they're going to spot this actually behind where the ball was almost. Or no, they're actually going to give it to him out here at about the Arizona Christian 45. It didn't look from our angle like it went that far, but that's not what you like to see when you're backed up in your own territory. And it does look like Caden Jenks is in at quarterback for the Bulldogs now.
And the Bulldogs starting on the Arizona Christian side of the field after the not so very good punt.
Going to be a little screen.
And goes out. That's just like a run.
Looked like it's going to be Rico Figuera on the catch. Another one of our Hawaiian Connection kids. Shout out to his family back home. I got to meet them earlier this year. Great family. I hope they're watching in Hawaii. Great catch for him. That's just his third catch, I believe, on the
what
season.
is it about? Is it about 6 hours difference?
They're 4 hours behind us, so
okay.
I believe it's probably about 11 or 12 o'clock their time right now.
So brunch with the Bulldogs.
Yep, absolutely.
2nd and 4 for Montana Western. Handoff, and this is to that
Dion Williams.
Yeah, Dion Williams, and he weaves his way and picks up another Bulldog first down.
Great carry and patience there.
So we've seen Humphrey, we've seen Gibson, and now we have Williams back in.
And also Brenner Bushfield, the senior out of Billings Skyview at tight end.
Well, a first tight end touchdown pass today.
Yep, that's the first one of the season, I believe. Possibly the first one in 2 years. That was really awesome to see, Wally.
So Jenks in shotgun position. Williams the lone setback. And handoff to Williams. He tries the interior.
Oh, we broke it.
He did. He broke right through the big boys and picked up about 5 yards. So he's small enough that he probably just kind of sunk underneath everybody.
I'm not quite sure how he got out of that. That was a great effort by Dion on that play. He actually played defense for most of last season. He was out for most of the season, but it's really cool to see him come in at running back and get some meaningful carries.
Well, he's not small, 5'10", 185, so maybe he just did it on pure Dion.
I guess so.
So 2nd and 4 for the Bulldogs on the Arizona Christian 20-yard line.
The Bulldogs are really taking their time here with the play clock, trying to bleed as much time as they can.
10:50 left to play, fourth quarter. Pass.
Another catch for Rico Figuera out of Hawaii, like I said earlier. It's great to see him getting in on the action.
And another Bulldog first down. So 1st and 10, Montana Western at the Arizona Christian 18-yard line or 17-yard line?
About the 18 or 17-yard line here. I'd imagine they're just going to keep running the football here. There's a new running back in. I believe that is going to be Gavin Vetter out of Butte, Montana, another Butte kid.
And he gets the ball. No,
yeah,
well,
he did.
He did, and he was instantly surrounded by the defenders from Arizona Christian, led by Bladen Stubbs. Stubbs, the 6-foot senior from Anchorage, Alaska. Boy, he came a long ways to play football.
Yep, absolutely. But, I mean, that's one thing about the Frontier. There are kids from truly all over the country that come to play in the best conference in America.
2-yard loss on the play. 2nd and 12, Bulldogs.
A lot of young O-linemen in for the Bulldogs right now. I don't believe there is any starters in on the O-line for the Bulldogs right now.
Vetter remains the lone setback behind Jenks, and handoff to Vetter. He busts through the line, and he's down to about the 5-yard line. So nice positive yardage.
And see, you kind of heard some gas from the crowd right there with the free rusher off the edge, Wally. Number 44, free shot at the running back. Great job by Jenks handing that ball off and letting Vetter hit the hole.
Well, they only gave him a couple of yards on that. Well, I guess they gave him 4 yards.
4 or 5 yards.
Yeah.
Going to set up about a 3rd and long 7, it looks like, 3rd and 8.
So Williams back in for the Bulldogs. Jenks in shotgun. Back to pass. A nice pass.
That was a terrific throw, Wally.
Pass and catch for a touchdown. Who is that?
It's going to be number 9, I believe, Seth Shook, Seth Shook, I believe, is who that is.
From Richmond, Washington, transferred to Bulldog Country from Idaho.
That is an absolutely beautiful throw there by Caden Jenks. It's awesome for Bulldog fans to get to see him throw the football. As a backup quarterback, he's truly a great teammate, and to see him get some action right there and get a touchdown is awesome.
Well, he caught it right over his shoulder.
Yep.
Exactly. The only person that could catch it was Shook.
Yep, and that's exactly like what you said, Wally. You want to put it where only your receiver can get it and the opposing team can't.
So extra point kick is up and good. And so with 8:33 left in our ball game, it's Montana Western 69 and Arizona Christian 0. Back with the Bulldog kickoff on the Bulldog Sports Network. Back to Bulldog Stadium, and our score, Bulldog 69, Arizona Christian 0, with 8:33 in the ball game. And Bulldog kickoff now. See if Arizona Christian can get something going. They've had a couple of good drives, but, both drives ended with turnovers.
Yep, and like we said, Bulldogs have been really good this year about stiffening up, and that's another great kick by the freshman Kobe Johnson. That one was landed nearly out of the back of the end zone.
Well, and I think Coach Martello must have reminded these guys what they're supposed to do when they get down there on a kick return is run through the end zone.
Bulldogs always run through the goal line, Wally. Like I said, it's just an effort thing here.
8:33 remaining. 1st and 10, Arizona Christian, ball marked at their 25-yard line.
It's really good to see some young Bulldogs getting in on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of them are freshmen, it looks like, out there, and that's awesome. And I know Coach Martello loves about that development and being able to get these guys some real game time at home.
Johnny Herrera, quarterback.
Great tackle. That's going to be number 11. That's going to be Tony O'Neill, a senior out of Washington. Great job by him.
Pickup of about 4 yards on the carry. Johnny Herrera remains at quarterback. I think that's Johnny Herrera still. No.
That's going to be number 7.
So Blevins is back into the lineup. Or Devins, excuse me. Devins back into the lineup. Bo Devins from Buckeye, Arizona.
I don't know much about Arizona. I could not tell you where that is.
Well, Taylor, we had a Hall of Famer from there.
Bulldogs are all over the place.
So 3rd and 5.
That was a very sneaky dive there, and it looks like the Bulldogs got the big stop. I'd imagine in a situation like this, they could go for this here. They could punt. It just kind of depends on what the coach is thinking.
So 4th and 3 for for Arizona Christian. 7:15 as the clock continues to run.
And it does look like they're going to keep the offense on the field as of right now. Quarterback's running in the play. It kind of looks like they're going to have to hurry up. Just 14 seconds left on the play clock for the Firestorm.
So Devins remains at quarterback, right up over center, and a handoff. And he picked up the first down. We'll see who it is getting up off the bottom of the pile, carrying the ball for the Firestorm. That is number 29 for the Firestorm. That is Gabe McDonald.
believe that's about the 12th person to carry the ball today for Arizona Christian. And that was a very sneaky fake there on kind of the fake dive option type play. Like I told you earlier, Wally, these plays are very tough to defend when it comes to the triple option.
So Devon's back to pass, and he completes a pass for a first down. Nice rollout. He rolled out and had a nice clean pocket to throw the ball in.
That's going to be number 17, Nick Pine, the junior out of California, on the catch.
So 1st and 10, Firestorm now marked on the Bulldog side of the field, on the Bulldog side of the 50, I should say.
That was the first time we've seen them have a little bit of a chunk play passing the football, and there's Conan on the carry.
And Conan picks up nice yardage, about 5 yards on the carry. Clock continues to roll.
Kale Conan had 25 yards rushing in that first half. He's got to be up over 50 here, probably for a career high on the day. It's really cool to be able to see him carry the football in his hometown.
Because he had such a great career with the Beavers, state champions last year.
And there's one of those inside carries there, Wally, inside counter.
And the Bulldogs were ready for it. Picked up a couple of yards.
Yep, like I told you earlier, disciplined football right there. Great job by the D-line, not biting on all the fakes, making the play. Live to see another down.
3rd and 3 now from the Bulldog 40. 3.5, we'll say. Handoff up the middle. And I don't think he got it.
I would imagine. It's
very close.
Like that far official is calling for 4th down. They could measure this. Obviously, if it's 4th and short, I would imagine they're going to
go for it. Yeah. They want to get points on the board. They don't want to be shut out.
That's one thing about these small college football games, Wally, that people don't understand. It doesn't matter who it is. To get a shutout against any opponent is a huge accomplishment.
Penalty.
Flag here.
I think we have someone moving a little fast on the...
It could be either illegal... I believe they're calling offsides on the defense, actually.
Okay.
Someone may have lined up offsides. It looked like that's...
So that's a free first down. That's like a service error in volleyball. Just give them a first down.
We'll see what the ref has to say here.
Yep, you called it.
Yeah, and it sounds like it was actually on the nose guard, so it's an interesting play there when you kind of don't look down and see the ball, but that's all right. You live to see another down. They got the first down anyways, even with the offsides call.
So 1st and 10, Firestorm. 4:08 left to play in the ball game. Firestorm trailing 69-0, looking for their first points. Devons
He's got a guy
rolls
wide
out
open
to
in the end
pass.
zone.
And he catches it at about the 3-yard line. He was all by himself down there. He was almost waving,
yes,
throw me the ball, throw me the ball.
Now, Wally, the Bulldogs are actually lucky that he didn't catch that in the end zone. Now they have a chance to get one of these goal line stops, which they've been able to do a couple times this year. And I would imagine that Coach Martello would love to see his young guys get a 4-down stop here inside the 5-yard line.
So 1st and goal, Firestorm. Ball is marked at the Bulldog 3-yard line. Oh, and
there's
touchdown.
Yep,
I think that was Tompkins with the touchdown for the Firestorm.
And that's one of those plays, Wally, where the edge guy just kind of got caught inside. The counter bounced out. It's a tough football play. Very well blocked by Arizona Christian.
69-6 now the score. And Nestor Higuera, how about this for size of a kicker? 5'5", 285.
They actually have a history of that. They had a kicker that actually went viral in I believe it's 2019. He was a very good kicker, about the same size.
Well, he just completed the Firestorm scoring with an extra point. So with 3:16 left to play in our game, it's Montana Western 69, Arizona Christian 7. We'll be back with the kickoff on the Bulldog Sports Network. Back at Bulldog Stadium, Arizona Christian on the board, and our score is 69-7 Bulldogs. Christian kicking off now.
That's going to be a big kick. Looks like it might make it out of the end zone, or Tanioka is going to return it.
He returned it down to at the 20,
And
the
he's got
25.
a lot of space here, Wally.
Well, he's got a touchdown. He got a touchdown, didn't he?
Yep, he got a touchdown earlier in the day, and he's also a great kick returner. He did a great job last year as a true freshman. That was kind of the first time we've really got to see him return one today, and he does another great job setting up the Bulldogs.
So the Bulldogs, great field possession for this possession. 3:06 left to play. Bulldogs leading 69-7. And do we have a third-string quarterback?
Yes, it's going to be Jordan Jones out of Bozeman, Montana. This is his third year or fourth year playing for the Bulldogs. He's played wide receiver, tight end, quarterback. I believe he played quarterback in high school. It's cool to see him come in and get some playing time at QB, Wally.
Handoff.
And I believe that's Curvin on the carry. It is.
DJ's always fun to watch. He's one of those, you think he's a Bulldog type runner that is straight ahead, but he can go straight ahead with authority or take it outside with speed.
Yep, absolutely. He's another great running back. They've got a great stable of running backs this year for the Bulldogs.
So 2nd and 6.
I would imagine you're going to see the Bulldogs use all 40 seconds of the play clock here. About 2 minutes left in the game. Get out of this game healthy.
So Curvin with the handoff, fights for yardage. He might have picked up 1 or 2, maybe. It depends on. They're going to give him about 1 yard on the carry.
It looks like we have a late flag here, Wally. I'd imagine this is going to be a late hit on someone. I'm not sure which team it was on.
Well, let's see. Well, they're moving. The Bulldogs are moving back, so I'm guessing it's against Montana Western.
This is something you hate to see at the end of these games. You got to be able to keep your cool.
One of the new offensive linemen. So do people that get personal fouls in the Bulldogs, do they have to do like extra running and stuff?
So I would say it's something of the sorts, obviously. We try to be the most disciplined football team we can be. It's actually very unusual. The Bulldogs lead the Frontier in penalty yardage this year. I know it's something that you got to get under control, and you just have to be disciplined in these situations and play smart football. That's something Coach Norris really preaches.
So 3rd and 20.
I'm not sure what the call is here. It looks like we might have a timeout Bulldogs here.
So the Bulldogs call a timeout.
2-minute timeout.
Oh, that's why. 2 minutes left in the ball game. We'll be back with more Bulldog football on the Bulldog Sports Network after this.
Montana Western, our flexible schedule and focus on learning through experience are just right for your world today. Experience One, where you take one course at a time for 18 days and then move on to your next course, is designed to work for you, whether you plan to come to campus, want to stay close to home, or if you need to earn your degree while working or raising a family. And Montana Western is the most affordable university in Montana. Experience the difference, only at University of Montana Western.
Back at Bulldog Stadium, both teams on the field. We have 2 minutes left to play in a game that's been pretty much all Bulldog.
Like I said, Wally, at the beginning of the day, Coach Norris wanted a smooth operation today, and it has been nearly flawless for most of the day.
Handoff to Curvin. He finds a little room, breaks one tackle, finally pushed out of bounds at the 45-yard line, make that the 44-yard line. So he got all the penalty yardage back and a little bit more, and the Bulldogs faced with a short.
It looks like they're going to punt here, Wally.
Oh, I thought that was...
That was 3rd down
okay,
right there. So
okay.
it looks like they're going to punt. That'll be the first time today. just a little situational football. You would like to get out of bounds there, keep the clock running, but he happened to accidentally go out of bounds, so they're going to punt the ball away with about 1:53 left.
Well, Eddie DeWert hasn't had any chance to punt today.
I mean, they haven't punted a whole heck of a lot this year. He's done a great job, though, when he has, and he did a great job last year as a freshman as well, taking over for an All-American in Joseph Lima from the past few years.
And he kicks it out of bounds.
I think they're going to get the ball at about the 35, it looks like. I'm not sure. He's still running. Yeah, going to be about the 35 here. Yep, 34.
So 1:48 left to play. Arizona Christian, hey, let's put another touchdown on. Let's make it look a little better. And also, you score in your last possession, you get that nice momentum as you go into next week.
Yeah, like I was telling you earlier, you like to get some momentum rolling into the next week, and they're getting some young guys some playing time too. It looks like it's a whole new O-line, and for them it's just about building up their program. Second year in the Frontier Conference, they've got a really young roster, and like you said, you can get some continuity in a program. You can really start to build for the future.
So Devon's at quarterback, right over center, and a double reverse, and the Bulldogs fooled on it for a bit.
It's going to be a huge tackle for loss there. That's going to be number 2. That is Drew Humphrey, another Billings West kid. His family moved to Billings when Jake Humphrey started coming to college here. His dad's obviously a Hall of Famer, like we said earlier. Another great kid. Played cornerback for us last year as a true freshman. Did a great job. Awesome to see him getting a tackle for loss here.
And it's second down and about 13 now for the Firestorm with 1:15 left to play. And right up the middle,
that was Conan.
Cale Conan. And he got back to the original line of scrimmage for 3rd and 10 now. Clock winding down. We are under 1 minute of football left.
And I believe with this win, the Bulldogs get to 6 wins again for the, I believe, 7th consecutive season or 6th consecutive season. That's a huge accomplishment. This will be their 6th win today. Every year since 2018, they've had 6 wins, and this is just awesome foundation building block for having success in the Frontier.
So end around again that results in about a 5-yard carry, but that's about it. But we are under 22 seconds left to play, and I would say this game is over.
It does look like they're going to let the clock run out, and a great job by the Bulldogs today. Great situational football early, got the game out of hand, finished it off strong.
So after 4 quarters of football, final score is Montana Western 69 and Arizona Christian 7. So the Bulldogs, as Tanner said, raised their record to 6-1 overall and 4-1 in the Frontier Conference. Arizona Christian falls to 1-5 in conference play and 1-6 overall. Next week, the Bulldogs travel to Havre to face Northern Montana College, while Arizona Christian hosts number 15 Montana Tech. The Bulldogs return to Bulldog Stadium on November 2nd against Carroll College. And that's going to do it from Bulldog Stadium. I'm Wally Felt along with Tanner Harrell, and thanks for joining me, Tanner. You did great.
Absolutely. It was an honor. I hope that I get the chance to keep doing this with you, Wally. It was absolutely awesome today.
Great job. And, of course, we can't leave out Brett Wiebe, our producer for today's game. So we'll leave it at that. Final score, Montana Western 69 and Arizona Christian 7. We'll see you next time on the Bulldog Sports Network.